Hey guys, no editing today, no intro. Usually on my talking videos or when I'm just chatting, I don't like to put in my intro. I just think it's weird. I don't know. It's just me. I think it's weird. But I have reached out to quite a few therapists. Two of them have responded back. They're all black women. So I thought it would be pretty cool because I'm so excited about therapy. It has been a long time coming. I've always wanted to get into therapy. When I say always, I mean in my adult years. Like, it's always piqued my interest, but I couldn't really afford it. So I've reached that point now where I'm just willing to sacrifice to get some help. And I figured I would come on here and kind of chat to you guys about some things that I'm really excited to bring up in therapy. I won't go into it or anything because then this video would be hella long. But yeah, I just want to talk to you about some things that I can't wait to bring up in therapy. The first one being my anxiety and panic attacks, which have affected me a lot recently for some reason. Like, I'm really triggered recently. So I've always dealt with panic attacks here and there, and for sure dealt with anxiety my whole life. But they've resurfaced recently. And I have been able to pinpoint where they're coming from, which I would feel more comfortable about talking in therapy. But that's one of the things I want to bring up, my anxiety and the panic attacks. Also, can't wait to bring up my attachment style. I feel like I have an anxious attachment style. I'm not concrete on that yet, but I'm really leaning towards having an anxious attachment style. And it explains a lot of the ways, a lot of my issues with other people, with everyone in my life. It explains it a lot. So I want to bring that up in therapy as well. I can't wait. Also, I want to talk about my relationship with confrontation. Like, I feel like for so long I view confrontation as a negative thing, and sometimes things need to be addressed, and it doesn't mean that it has to be nasty in a rude or aggressive way, but I feel like my anxiety really feeds off of this negative view of confrontation and me feeling like I cannot confront things, or when people confront things with me, it's the end of the world. I just have this really bad fight or flight trigger that the wiring is terrible. Like, it has a short in the wiring, and so I always have a fight or flight response. And actually just had a full circle moment with that as far as my upbringing. But anyway, yes, I want to bring up my issues with confrontation, and I want to also talk about my upbringing and how I feel like that may have affected the way that I read people. I tend to make decisions for people, and I feel like I misread social cues and I misinterpret what people mean if what they say triggers me. So if something you say to me or do, or a facial expression or whatever triggers me, that sends me into a spiral of misinterpreting whatever it is that you may have intended for me, or like whatever you intended for it to mean. I've already gone down a rabbit hole of coming to my own conclusion about what it means. And it's even worse when I'm in isolation mode when something has triggered me, because I'm left alone to put the pieces together myself, which I cannot be trusted to do because I always jump to the most drastic solutions, or the most drastic of reasoning. And once I run with that, it's really hard to pull myself out of it. Once I let the anxiety take hold, which manifests itself into like panic attacks and feeling really uneasy and nervous and afraid, and like everything is very physical. It's very physical. And for a long time I had a hard time understanding the difference between my intuition and my anxiety. And I just learned that anxiety is strictly fear-based. It's like a survival thing. And I know that I never want to get rid of my anxiety because it is a survival mechanism for me. It is crucial to my survival, but I do want to manage it so that it doesn't feel like everything is survival and everything needs a survival response and everything needs a fight or flight response. I want to manage that and being able to determine which one is which. I think those are the biggest things that I want to bring up in therapy. I also want to talk about grief and like my dad passing, but I don't feel like that affects me as much. Or maybe I'm not privy to it, I don't know, but it's worth bringing up. Grief, assault. Of course, I want to bring that up because I'm still not really sure how that has affected me, because I don't think it affected me in ways that are typical, like the results of like sexual trauma. I don't think it affected me in typical ways, but I'm not sure. That's another part. Like, self-awareness is nice, but I don't think you can be 100% self-aware. So it's nice to have somebody listening to your specific situation. I feel like for all this time, because I couldn't get to a therapist, I've been utilizing like YouTube and clinicians online and like looking up terms and listening to people's stories, trying to fit pieces with myself on my own, and like talking to my friend and stuff. But for the most part, like doing the research on my own to try and navigate my own story and how it got me here. And that has helped, but I've reached a plateau, and I feel like I need someone whose job is to listen to people, listen to my specific situation, listen to the way that I talk, listen to what I'm saying, and help me analyze myself. So yeah, I'm really excited about that, like so excited. I know some people have weird views when it comes to therapy. For me, it is like such a relief. Like when I took shrooms for the first time and I felt the baggage in front of me versus me carrying it, and I was able to look at it, and it was like a relief that I felt. Just the fact that I'm addressing this stuff is like a relief. Like, the cat's out of the bag. So what do you think? And then to know that I'm in an environment where, well, hopefully, no one's judging me or like looking at me like, girl, what? Or anything. Like, I just want an environment like that, and where someone can just listen to me. So I'm excited. I'm going to do a consultation. I have 2 of them. So I'm going to do a consultation with them, feel them out. It's weird though, because I want to skip the small talk. I don't even want to listen. I've written it down. It's like I wrote it down so that I know what points I want to start with. But hopefully, I'm down for like the natural conversation flowing in whatever direction it flows in. But I have written some things down because I want to get to the root. I'm ready. We can cry and all that. I don't have a problem with that. I want to get to the root. So yeah, I just came on here to share that with you guys because I haven't talked in a little bit. I haven't posted in a little bit. But hair videos, like, that's so a part of me that I forget to document it. Like, you guys haven't seen this hairstyle when it was fresh, but I forget to document stuff like that because that's just my regular stuff. I do it all the time, and I forget that I have this channel where a lot of the traffic comes from hair, but I don't want to post hair content all the time. So I gotta compromise. I gotta do me, but also cater to you guys a little bit. But yeah, that's all I got. I just wanted to share that. So I hope you guys are doing well. If you're in therapy, feel free to comment if you're comfortable with what you think about it, what it's done for you, some things that you think are worth bringing up in therapy. Let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys soon on this channel.